You know what time it is. And welcome everyone to the channel. Hope that you're having a beautiful, wonderful, fantastic Saturday or whatever day you end up watching this. Today we are diving into a full album listen of Parallel Lines by the band Blondie, released 1978. This is their third studio album that we're going to be checking out today. This wasn't necessarily recommended by anyone. Actually, this was an album that I chose of my own accord and I had put on my listen list to listen to on my own. Well, not on my own, with you guys. On my own accord. It wasn't like it was suggested necessarily by anyone, but some of us over on the Discord were chatting about it. I know Marad and Jeremy, and I know we were chatting about it a little bit ago, because you had asked like if I had covered anything from this album, and no, I didn't. So I had pulled up your names. I know Jeremy, Mar, maybe I was also discussing this with Jim. I'm not sure anymore. Anyways, Blondie. That's what we're doing today. A few of the tracks looked familiar when I pulled up the album, which I'm pulling up right now as we speak. One Way or Another, the second track, I'm just assuming that's One Way or Another. I'm assuming. And then Heart of Glass, I do know that track. Everything else should be new materials, should be new places to explore, new places to listen. So hope you guys are here for the journey. If it's your first time watching, listen, we just chill here, we relax. I don't know anything about chords, minor chords, major chords, your chords, my chords. We're just here to have an accord and relax, chill together, grab a drink, grab a glass, grab something to sip on or something to munch on, whatever you're doing. It's just gonna be a fun, relaxing, hopefully somewhat educational time. And if it's not your first time here, thank you for showing back up. Of course, as always, you can support the channel and what I do on Patreon. You do not have to, but you can. That is an option. And without further ado, this might be the quickest we have gotten into an album. This might be the quickest. Actually, it's too quick. Can I tell you something? One of the hardest and most annoying dishes to wash is the bundt cake bowl, if that's what you call it, or the mold. It is so annoying because we made a cake last night, my wife and I, and like I'm scrubbing it today and trying to get into the ridges and everything. It's really annoying to wash that. Just want to throw it out there. See, it wasn't too long of a distraction. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the album. I've made another big old cup of hot chocolate. Now, it was very risky for me to wear a white shirt with the hot chocolate, not gonna lie, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. Hanging Onto the Telephone is the first track, and that is where we shall begin. Thank you guys. Here we go. Oh, I forgot. This one's to you.
I'm in the phone booth, it's the one across the hall. If you don't answer, it's good to hear your voice, you know it's been so long.
That's just that good pop with power behind it.
I like to talk when I can show you my affection.
Right out the gate, a front end track that introduces you to the album with a big impact, a lot of energy, so fun, 2 minutes and 25 seconds, not taking a lot of time to get into it, to get into the momentum of the album, but we are starting out already with like a brilliant launch pad of a track. Just a lot of power behind it immediately. Now, besides the two songs that I have heard, or I'm assuming I've heard the next one, but you know, at least the one song I definitely know. I don't know anything about Blondie. I don't know a thing. Deborah Harry is going to be the lead vocals here. And I like how she has this great balance between what I would say is like a slight punky aggression. I don't want to say punk, but maybe like a slight post-punk aggression, but then with straight pop sensibilities. I love the way the musicians play around her. And when I say play around her, yes, she's the lead singer, but like they're doing their own thing. I really enjoy the guitar playing. You have two guitarists here, Frank Infante and then Chris Stein as well. And I really like the guitar riffs that they're coming up with. I like how it's not so boring and standard and stagnant. There's actually movement to it. I love the feeling of the organ underneath it. The drumming had a lot of great energy as well. That's going to be Clem Burke on the drums. I love the bridge of the song, the pre-chorus, when he switches and goes into and then just gets back into the straight four. Like, that just feels really good. A lot of energy packed up in a tight 2 minute, 25 second track. What else could you ask for? I'm in the phone booth. It's the one across the hall. If you don't answer, I'll just ring it off the wall. I know he's there, but I just had to call. Don't leave me hanging on the telephone. Listen, I know you're up there. I know you're there. You better get down here. I got talking to you. I heard your mother. Now she's going out the door. Did she go to work or just go to the store? All those things she said, I told you to ignore. Why can't we talk again? Don't leave me hanging. It's good to hear your voice. You know it's been so long. If I don't get your calls, then everything goes wrong. I want to tell you something you've known all along. Don't leave me hanging on the telephone. I had to interrupt and stop this conversation. Your voice across the line gives me a strange sensation. I'd like to talk when I can show you my affection. Oh, I can't control myself. Hang up and run to me. Saying the phone was good, but I need the real thing.
Oh my. Oh my.
I need you better get up over here. I'm knocking. You better open the door. I did see that this track had an article and it says a Nerves cover. The song was released in '76 by the short-lived band The Nerves, and it was recorded and released as a single by new wave band Blondie, of course. It says Blondie had discovered the song via a cassette tape compilation, which Jeffrey Lee Pierce had given the band, beginning with a phone sound effect courtesy of producer Mike Chapman. Blondie's version of the song was released on the band's breakthrough third album. It was a top 5 hit in the UK singles chart and has since seen critical acclaim as one of their best songs as well. So, like I said, it was originally for The Nerves, but it says that was a commercial failure and became the group's only release. Lee reflected, even people who hated me, and there were plenty, had to admit it was great. So that I hate you and I hate the band, but man, the song you guys released, that's a good one. That was a good one. And then, of course, as we just read, Blondie took it over, and theirs went quite far as well, as you can see by the chart positions here. Many different places. Anyways, let's move on to the next track here, which, like I said, I do believe I know just based on the title, one way or another. Let's go ahead and find out if I'm right, if I'm wrong. Either way, we'll listen to the song. Please clap. Sounds like it.
I will drive past your house. Your bus down.
You know, it's actually straight stalker behavior.
Or another, I'm gonna lose ya. I'm gonna give you the slip.
I have never heard the outro to that song. That is so cool when that synth, it sounds so distressing and almost like an alarm going off. And then the chorus keeps going. And to me, the chorus already had this kind of stalkerish behavior tension to it. And especially the way that Deborah, like, it starts off somewhat, I don't want to say sweet, but her voice is a little bit more poppy, melodic, smooth, whatever. And then as she goes down, she gets a little bit, like she brings in a growl beneath it, which is just so cool. That's where I get that kind of punk or post-punk energy from, which you get in spades here. But the ending, I love how it just turns on its head. It kind of has a Carnival-esque sound to it with the way that the keys come in and kind of changes the mood a little bit. But I don't think it's exactly stalkerish, even though I could definitely see this song being used in like a horror movie during a chase scene. I could absolutely have it and see that. But I think that it's more she's trying to catch if her man is cheating on her. That's what I got from the bridge. When it gets to the, I'll walk down to the mall, stand over by the wall where I can see it all. Find out who you call. See? Who you calling out there in secret. Lead you to the supermarket checkout. Some specials and rat food get lost in the crowd. Don't know what the rat food thing means, but either way, she's there. She's doing one of these. And then she puts on her Carmen Sandiego and hightails it out of there. That's a good track. And like I said, this is one that I do know. One thing that I also really enjoy about it, which I think is probably the one thing, or one of the few things, or one of the many things, that makes this track a standout is her delivery. The repeated, I'm gonna get you, get you, get you, get you. And the way that she continually changes her tone in different ways to something either more raw and powerful or playful. And the different words that she uses, that repeated riff. And like I said, that kind of not machine gun sound, but like the way that she like just shoots it out. I think it sounds really cool the way she does that, and just makes it very catchy to sing, very fun to sing, with a little bit of oomph behind it. You know what I mean? A little bit of oomph behind it. One way or another, gonna find you. Gonna get you. One way or another, I'm gonna win you. I'm gonna see you. Maybe one day, next week, I'm gonna meet you. Somewhere, somewhere, some way, somehow down the line, she's gonna get you. I'm gonna drive past your house. If all the lights are down, I'll see who's around. That's where I was getting a little stalkerish behavior, but then there's a reason later on. I'm gonna find you, gonna win you, gonna meet you maybe next week. Like, I like the progression. First, I'm gonna find you, then I'm gonna get you, then I'm gonna win you. If all the lights are out, I'll follow your bus downtown, see who's hanging around. Just going from one place to another. Then one day I'm gonna lose you. I'll give you the slip. Like if they start catching on that she's following them, she'll give them the slip. I'm gonna trick you. And then of course we get into that part here. That's funny. I mean, like I said, okay, let's see. Lyrically, the song was inspired by Deborah Harry's experience with a stalker in the early 1970s, which forced her to move away from New Jersey. Okay, so at first I was thinking stalker. Then I was thinking she's trying to catch her man cheating on her. And then I guess actually, nope, it's stalker. It says it was released as the 4th North American single. The song reached number 24 in the US and 7 in Canada. It was not released as a single in the UK, but later charted in 2013, along with a cover by One Direction for Comic Relief, with the latter reaching number 1. Well, sometimes that's how it happens, huh? Of course, it says it's reached critical acclaim for the aggressive vocals and the energetic performance. That is for sure. Let's see. The boyfriend's constant calling and persistent stalking forced her to move out of New Jersey. The stalking had taken place in 1973 when Harry was a member of the Stilettos. I guess he probably left because people walked all over him, huh? Please clap. That's a good one. That's worth a clap. Come on. It was freaking us all out, especially Chris Stein. And then, of course, it goes a little bit deeper into that. That's a fun song. That's a good one. A classic, if you will. Let's move on into the next track here, which is Picture This. Here we go.
I will give you my finest hour. Oh yeah. Oh, if you can't picture this, I'll die in December.
She told you. She said, listen, all I want is a picture of you. All I want is just a little commitment. That's all I need. Just a little something more. Like we're right here. We don't need to go right here, but we need to at least be right here, maybe with a progression towards something. Just a little bit of something. I like how initially this song kind of softens things up a little bit from the first 2 tracks. It kind of takes a slight step back, gives us something a little bit more melodic. Like I said, the riff in the beginning gave me a little bit of like, not a country vibe, but like a little something of that. And then it moves into something I felt that was very powerful. This is where a lot more of the, I would say, softer emotion comes in from Deb without losing any of its power. This is where I hear a little bit more femininity in here without, once again, losing that aggression, that want, that desire. And I love how you can really feel that in her singing and in her delivery. Starting soft, subtle, becoming more powerful, more I want this, I need this. And you get that from, of course, the growl in her voice and the impact which she sings with. I think that's really good. I like the bass line in this one as well. I haven't mentioned the bassist, but the bass is going to be performed by Nigel Harrison. Really enjoyed the bass line. It kind of moves around a little bit more. I love the harmonies from the rest of the band, and I feel like there's probably some keyboards back there as well that in the chorus kind of pushes everything up. And I don't want to go as far as to say giving it a symphonic touch, because that's probably a little too strong of a word, but it does give it a similar push as you would have strings and a symphony pushing the music up as well. Just a really nice third track, you know? To me, whenever I listen to an album, you either have the first track that's either like some soft intro to the second track, which is the main one, or you have one like this where the first track is like that, get your attention. Second one, keep that attention. Third one, just pull back a little bit. Fourth one can go either way. We'll find out shortly. Let's look at the lyrics first. I'll also just want to say, can't zoom in anymore, but that's a cover. I have no comments on it. That's just a cover. All I want is a room with a view, a sight worth seeing, a vision of you. All I want is a room with a view. I will give you my finest hour. You give to me, I give to you. You give me a little push, I give you a little pull. You know, like it's back and forth. The one I spent watching you shower, I will give you my finest hour. All I want is a photo in my wallet, a small remembrance of something more solid. All I want is a picture of you. Just a little bit of that C word. Picture this, a day in December. Picture this, freezing cold weather. You got clouds on your lids and you'd be on the skids if it weren't for your job at the garage. If you could only picture this, sky full of thunder. Picture this, my telephone number. 1 and 1 is what I'm telling you. Oh yeah. Like, you get this, you know? All I want is 20/20 vision, a clear vision of the future, a total portrait with no omissions. All I want is a vision of you. And not just a part of you. I don't want the half and half. I don't want the skim milk. Give me the whole milk. Then it just repeats from there. And at the end, 1 and 1 is what I'm telling you. Get a pocket computer. Try and do what you used to do. Yeah. Okay. I'm imagining when she says pocket computer, I'm thinking a calculator, like 1 + 1 = 2. And that's what she's saying the whole time, like, you and me equals us. So don't try and do any sort of subtraction, if you know, in any way. No, don't give me a fraction. Give me the whole number. Let's move on. Actually, before we move on, there is actually another article for this track as well. It says, this song features evocative lyrics that Mike Chapman surmised were written by Harry about Stein. Also released as a single, or the debut single, reached number 12 in the UK singles chart and top 20 in Sweden. It says that according to Destry, Harry wrote the lyrics while Destry wrote the verse melody and Stein the chorus. It says, we had little pieces of one another's songs, just throwing it in bits. I always write with the band in mind. I like that. Like, yeah, they wrote, little bits and pieces, but brought it all together, and it kind of coalesced. Well, not kind of. It coalesced into something very coherent. The lyric to this day to me is elusive and beautiful, and it all came from this amazing girl. He explained his initial reaction to the song. When Debbie showed me the lyrics, I thought, whoa, this was something she'd obviously lived through. She was singing about an event in her life. I guess she was watching Chris shower. I wouldn't have wanted to watch Chris shower, but obviously Debbie enjoyed it. I think that's hilarious. That's good. That's good. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is Fade Away and Radiate. Here we go. Little tense, huh?
And radiate.
Wow.
Fade away. Radiate.
Some interesting guitar too. See? This is abstract a little bit.
Electric age. Fade away and radiate.
By the fourth track on the album, Where We Are Right Now, I thought that I had kind of had an idea of where the band would be going. This is such a standout song amongst the past three that I didn't expect the band to go into this direction. First of all, that very open, empty, stark, slightly harsh opening with just the drums and Deborah singing. It sounds so empty and tense, and I love that approach. It's just a stark contrast from what happened before. Then, even when the band does enter, I don't know, there's just like this, they're just playing in this space. Then it begins to move into something a little bit closer to what we've heard, a little bit more standard, but this feels like that kind of, okay, let's experiment a little bit. I'm not saying go crazy, but this seems to be that track now. Okay, we've shown you like, 3 songs that are pretty standard, straightforward. Let's give the audience a little cinnamon in their spice, right? Like, let's give them a little bit of something different, a little sriracha in their ramen. And this track just does so well. The guitars, they're making great use of the 2 guitarists. Let me pull up their names again. I don't remember. I don't know the band. I only know Deborah. I can't remember their names. Chris Stein and Infante. Making great use of the guitars because while one is playing chords, you have the other one kind of playing this like scratchy, interesting kind of tone back there. And before it moves into the finale, before it moves into that closing section, the way that the bass is playing and the guitar, I'm not going to be able to find it that quick. I'm not going to search through. But it has almost like this slight progressive kind of sound to it, which I think just sounds really, really awesome. That is so cool. And then, I mean, the ending, I don't want to say it gets into like a reggae vibe, but it definitely gives it a little bit of an island bounce, which is like, I don't want to say like it comes out of nowhere, but it does. But even though it comes out of nowhere, it works. And you guys can't see this, but on my end, I can see, because I use Spotify, I can see how many times all these songs have been played in general. Telephone, 41 million. One Way, 415 million. Picture This, 11 million. Fade Away, 4 million. This feels like a at least 50 million track. Like, this was a very surprising track to listen to. Let me pull you guys up. Oh baby, I hear you, or I hear how you spend nighttime wrapped like candy in a blue neon glow. Fade away and radiate. Baby, watchful lines vibrate soft in brainwave time. Silver pictures move so slow, golden tubes faintly glow. I'm just imagining that this is talking about someone watching TV, but perhaps to an excessive amount. Like a Poltergeist kind of situation. Never seen the movie, but I know that, was it the kids sitting in front of the TV? Electric faces seem to merge. Hidden voices mock your words. Fade away, radiate. Beams become my dream. My dream is on the screen. The beams become my dream. My dream is on the screen. Dusty frames that still arrive die in 1955. Fade away and radiate. What happened in 1955? I might click this. And then it just reads from there. Let me see what this says. This line alludes to legendary actor James Dean. Born in 1932, he would be paraded as the face of teenage rebellion in the 1950s. Barely a month before the film's release, Dean would tragically die in a car crash. The frames being dusty lend themselves to their age, with Dean's last released film having come out nearly 60 years ago. Despite this, Dean seems to be faded away while simultaneously radiating, as the song describes. Okay. I don't really know anything about James Dean, but I suppose I can see that. All right, let's move on to the next track, which is... Do you see what I see? Let me help you out. 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 That explains so much. How, I have to ask, how did Robert Fripp I know he makes a guest appearance. I see that. But how and why? How did he get in here? Where did he come in? Did he like hear them down the hall and they approached him? Who approached who? How did this happen? I love, by the way, seeing these musicians that I've now learned about, like Fripp, Tony Levin's a big one, and where they just randomly or seemingly randomly appear in other people's projects. That explains a lot about that guitar. That explains a lot. It did sound crimson-y. Pretty Baby. Here we go. Pretty Baby, let me just let the last few seconds play this. Pretty Baby is, to me, obviously I don't know because we're about to listen to the next song that ends this side of the album, but this feels like one that could end this side of the album. It has, to me, the perfect mix of that progression that we kind of heard, or the progressive nature of the previous track, but also something a little bit more catchy as well. The drumming here, I really enjoy. I really love the way that the fills are being done. Clem Burke, once again, on the drums. And I'm sorry, I keep on forgetting most of their names. I have to keep it up here to remember. I really enjoy the way that he plays drums. There's a nice flow to it. There's a great energy and momentum that he plays with in here. And I really like how he marks the signal for a lot of things. Like this song has an interesting kind of structure to it. I love the way the synths come in, and where there's playing that little part where all the music stops and just kind of beep, beep, beeps, and then moves back into it, or the overarching kind of synths underneath everything like a bed. It's just really, really nice. Deborah, I think, is a huge standout. I like in here where she just kind of has some almost spoken vocals and then leads into something very comforting. I love the like the pretty baby, and then her line right after. Da, 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 da. Like, it's just very well put together and well structured on every level, but I have to admire Deborah's level specifically in what I'm hearing. Just good stuff. Stars live in the evening, but the very young need the sun. Pretty baby, you look so heavenly, a neo-nebular from under the sun. I was forming, some say I had my chance, the boys were falling like an avalanche. Yeah, baby, La Dolce Vita is a magic dance, no one was listening. Pretty baby, on petite ingenue, a teenage starlet, I fell in love with you. You with the comb, you look okay in every way, every way. I should have known, you look at me and look away. Just didn't feel like she was enough. I also really like the almost 50s or 60s-esque vibe to a lot of the harmonies. And it seems actually, that now that I'm thinking about it, a little bit at least of their inspiration behind some of the music in which they're singing and performing. Pretty baby, you look so heavenly and neo-nebular from under the sun. Eyes that tell me incense and peppermints. Your looks are larger than life. Long live innocence. Pretty ingenue, I fell in love with you. Pretty baby, I fell in love with you. Well, whoever it is, she fell in love with them. But, as she says, you look at me and look away. So the feelings were not apparently reciprocated. Let's move on to the final track on this particular side, and that is I Know, But I Don't Know. I gotta back it up. It kind of went into it a little bit before. There we go.
Hey, you know, I don't know.
I can already tell this is gonna be a hip song.
I give, but I don't get. You can, but not with me. It's all a mystery.
Go ahead, get in there. I couldn't tell if it was vocoder at the end or if it was just like a synth with some effect or not, but either way, what an incredible way to end this side of the album. It really takes like, it sounds like they like, I don't want to say it went grunge or anything like that because this is like pre-grunge, but like kind of hitting towards that energy. The riff is massive. It's very heavy. The drums, when they come in right out the gate from Burke, are like, where did that come from? I feel like this is Burke, but also maybe in a sense the rest of the band besides Deborah, like saying, let's like go off on this one. Let's put a little bit of that punk kind of energy and sound into this. At least like invigorate it with that sound and with that energy, and like it's a rampage right out the gate, and I love that. But then when it gets into the verse and the vocals, it kind of pulls back a little bit. And even when yes, Deborah's here, but also it's going to be Frank Infante who's doing the vocals here that you hear from the male, and it's almost like this passive kind of robotic way that it's being delivered there. So I think that's really cool how they balance like this very moving instrumental with, you know, vocal delivery that's something a little bit more whatever it means. This is a track I wouldn't be surprised if Fripp was on, but it seems that is not the case. Hey you, I don't know. I know, but I don't know. I give, but I don't get. I will, but I won't yet. I lose, but I don't bet. I'm your dog, but I'm not your pet. Please. That's a good one. That's a good one. You could still use that today. What's up, dog? I'm your dog, but I'm not your pet. I know, but I don't care. I know, but I don't care. Then I know, but I don't see. Now I see, but I don't know. I care, but I don't care. So there's a little progression. I love that kind of progression in all the lyrics, you know. I know, but I don't care. I know, but I don't see. I see, but I don't know. I could, but I won't be. You can, but not with me. It's all a mystery, locked out without a key. I don't know what any of this is relating to, like, in a direct sense, but it could be applied to so many things. Now I care, but I don't care, and I know, but I don't see. Now I know that... I'm tired of reading it. It's like reading a riddle. Like I said, I like it, though. I like that kind of writing. I just don't know what it's relating to, and I don't see anything, at least. I could do a super quick look. But there you go. That's not going to help me. I don't see, like a direct, not reason for the writing, but, you know, meaning behind it from the band themselves. So, all right, that ends the first side of the album. So let's just skedoodle, skedaddle, skaboodle, skebattle to the next side of the album. And that is going to start off with 11:59, which right now we're about 46 minutes past that because it's 11 or 12:45 right now. I did that math quick.
Pumping like a fugitive in cover from the night. Stay alive. Motion down, it's getting late. I'm tired and I've lost control.
I think that this song is, like, to me, all Destry, who's handling the keyboards, who's obviously handling the organ here as well. Great organ solo, fantastic outro, great playing throughout. It sounds like on one hand during the solo, he's probably soloing with his right hand and then there's piano being played. I'm assuming that's with his left, or because it's a studio album, it could just be overdubbed as well. But I really enjoyed that contribution. I really enjoyed how that felt. Something I'm noticing about not only this song, of course, it just made me think about it, but with the album as a whole, is that it's a very poppy album, but this to me is poppy with great expression. This is pop not being a dirty word. This is pop with, like, artistic merits. And there's like this song. It starts off once again with a heavy guitar riff, then it moves into something a lot more open and I don't know, like this, I can't help it, but like this 50s kind of movement. Like, I don't want to say that this reminds me of a sock hop, but it gives me the impression of a heavy sock hop. A lot of the times with the music. I love the way that Deborah sings. I love the way that the band plays together. The drumming from Burke. Like, it just has a lot of uniqueness to it for something that didn't have to be, I guess, in a way. But I'm enjoying this album. Not more than I thought, but I'm getting more from it than I kind of anticipated, if I'm being honest with you. I'm enjoying my ride. Leaning in your corner like a candidate for wax. Sidewalk social scientists don't get no satisfaction from your cigarette. It's 10 to 10 and time is running out. Lock up all your memories, get out of here, you know that we can run. Today can last another million years, today could be the end of me. It's 11:59 and I want to stay alive. So, I'm assuming like it's almost 12 o'clock in some capacity, meaning the end before time starts over, like literal on a clock, like 12 is the last hour. So, you know, hey, we don't have a lot of time. Let's make the best of it as we can. Pumping like a fugitive in cover from the night, take it down the freeway like a bullet to the ocean. I love how, like, there's always a little extra run on after the actual verse kind of ends melodically, or rhythmically, I should say, in the meter. Wait until the morning, take tomorrow by the hand, take it down the highway like a rocket to the ocean we can run. Hanging on the frequency and burning like a fire. Boy, you've got the motion down. It's getting late. I'm tired. And I've lost control. Did you guys just hear that? My stomach just moved. Don't leave me here. Time is running out. Take me down the highway like a rocket to the ocean. We can run. Like, let's not waste this time. Who knows how much longer we have in whatever capacity this is. I'm just assuming a relationship. Let's make the best of it like we can. Let's run. Let's do something with this. Let's do something with this. Don't leave me hanging on the telephone. Let's move on to the next track here, which is going to be Will Anything Happen? You know, in a way, these songs kind of relate to each other. Even if it's not necessarily a concept album or anything like that, it kind of works, at least thematically.
Will anything happen? Will it come true? Will anything happen? Will it come true?
Me hanging on the telephone. Okay, can we talk about the hilltop that this song gets to in the halfway point where he's clemming, he's Birkin, he's drumming. What I thought was going to be like a drum fill that catapults into the next section is really its own little hill. that moment there is just so awesome. Like, I feel like he gets all of his aggression out right then and there. And I love the way the guitar plays on top of it. Not soloing, just kind of this slightly dissonant lead, I guess. And the way that, like, they both climb this mountain and then they just explode in starlight at the very top. A little ash falls down. And then it picks right back up in the verse. I thought that was just such a standout moment. And like I kind of said before, I'm getting a lot more out of this album than I kind of was expecting off of the 2 songs I know. It's also much heavier than I was expecting out of here. I mean, I feel like Stein and Infante, like, I don't know what they were listening to that influenced their playing style. But, like, I wouldn't doubt it if they were listening to, like, Sabbath, maybe some Ronson. I guess I could click on their name, see if anything pops up, right? Looking at Infante, I just want to see super quickly if I can see, like, I'm looking for names. He's toured with Iggy Pop, Divinals. I don't know who that is, but that's a cool name. I'm just looking super quick. I don't see anything initially that tells me anything about him. And if I click on Stein, I'm just looking super quick through for, like, influences or anything like that. But at least initially, I'm not seeing anything that stands out to me. Either way, I wouldn't be surprised. Let's look at the lyrics here. Will anything happen? I always said you could make it. I know what I said and I meant it. I always liked the way you played guitar. I always knew that someday you'd go far. The question is, if you do, will anything happen? Will it come true? Will anything happen? Will I see you again? I believe in you and I want the best for you. I want you to follow this dream of yours. But if you go and make it big, are you going to forget about me? You said you'd been through here again. Please don't forget I'm here waiting. Let's look at that. On tour, you said you were in my town? You were in my city? I didn't. My phone didn't ring. Maybe that's why she ended up looking around for you. You always said that you would never change, like the people that you've met and the places that you've been. I always said you could make it, just don't. Yep, there you go. If I do, will anything happen? Well, I think he gone. I think he gone. Let's move on to the next track here, which is going to be Sunday Girl. Not Saturday Girl. Sunday Girl. I love how sweet this song is after, like, all the heaviness we got before. I feel like this one kind of smooths things out. Deb's singing very sweet. Can I call her Deb? Deb is singing very sweetly here. The movement, the dun 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 dun. Like, it just has this really, I can't help but say the word again, sweet movement and sound to it. It's so melodic, and I love the muted guitar chorus. Like, just moving along at a really nice pace. The harmonies are nice when those come in. And it works so well with the lyrics as well. Sunday Girl initially makes me think of, like, I don't know, I guess like I think of like a nun, but like a girl going to church and, you know, like that kind of idea. So, you know, it's not working out quite well for her, but the music kind of still invokes that innocent kind of feel to it. But I don't think it's working out the way that she wants to. I know a girl from a lonely street, cold as ice cream, but still as sweet. Dry your eyes, Sunday Girl. Hey, I saw your guy with a different girl. Looks like he's in another world, running to hide, Sunday Girl. So you're doing, you know, your thing. You're going to church and you're doing this and that, but you're doing what you think is the right thing. But he's out of running around. He's not living in the same world as you. Hurry up and wait. I stay away all week, and still I wait. I got the blues, please come see what your lovin' means to me. She can't catch up with the working crowd, the weekend mood, and she's feeling proud. Living dreams, Sunday Girl, baby, I would like to go out tonight. If I go with you, my folks get uptight. Stay at home, Sunday Girl. Just keep away from him, girl. Saw him with a different girl. Hey, when I saw you again in summertime, if your love was as sweet as mine, I could be Sunday's girl. So I think, like Deb's saying, like, if my man stayed around, I could do that. But if he ain't around and If he's cheating and running around, skipping town, doing his thing, nuh-uh, not on me. Hurry up and wait. I stay away all week and still I wait. Got the blues, come see what your loving means to me. Breaking a Heart. It says, written for Debbie Harry's runaway cat, Sunday Man? Sunday Girl details a pious woman whose restrictions in life have led to a depressed state of mind. Serves as a nice track, obviously. I did not know this was about a cat, really. Or at least initially. Chris Stein, the lyrics for the track he reserves about being credited. I wrote that one all by myself. I was so nervous about having my own song. Well, sounds good to me. Cat or not. Let's move on to the next one, which is... This one I know. Heart of Glass. That's how it goes. Alright, let's go. She's gonna do it better than I just did. Clearly. This is the drum pattern. This one I'm very, very familiar with. But what a standout on the album, obviously a very popular song, definitely a classic one, as a matter of fact. And I think it's like such a nice change of pace, like from the sounds that we've heard previously on the album and how it moves into this. Something kind of disco-esque. I mean, especially that bass line. When it fills at the end, that is such a disco-esque way of being played. And of course, the drum beat as well and everything. I love the work that Clem does on the hi-hats. Like, it's just a nice way of integrating a little bit of a unique sound into the movement of the drums. Because, of course, it could just be a standard boom, ka, boom, ka. But the skittering of the hi-hat as you know what I mean. I love the way that Deb sings on this one. Like, it's very catchy. It just moves very nicely. The electronic sequencers. I can't speak. The electronic sequencers that kind of play amongst, like, as the backbeat to this, and then the guitar behind that, like, very, very much like in the shadows of that, is just a nice atmosphere and essence to this. And I love how in the, not necessarily the break, but the instrumental part of the song, how I loved it. I think it's so interesting how it moves off of its usual beat and goes into sevens at that part. Because it goes, da 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 da. Like, I like how it changes, and I don't know why they did that, because it almost feels like it should have made sense, and yet for them doing that, it works very well. But I can imagine this song coming on at like dance clubs and stuff, and that part throws everybody off. I can see it. I can 100% see it. Once I had a love and it was a gas. Soon turned out had a heart of glass. Seemed like a real thing, or the real thing, only to find mucho mistrust. Love's gone behind. Seemed like it was going good, and then it went straight down the flush. Once I had a love and it was divine. Soon found out I was losing my mind. It seemed like the real thing, but I was so blind. Mucho mistrust. Love's gone blind. Or behind. In between, what I find is pleasing, and I'm feeling fine. Love is so confusing, there's no peace of mind. If I fear I'm losing you, it's just no good. You're teasing like you do. So I love the line, in between, what I find is pleasing and I'm feeling fine. In between relationships, you know, after the last, before the next, you know, I'm actually doing okay. It's fine. I realized you broke my heart. I'm going to be just fine. Going to the gym, doing my thing. Lost inside, adorable illusion, and I cannot hide. I'm the one you're using. Please don't push me aside. We could have made it cruising, yeah. Riding high on love's true bluish light. Could have been fine. Could have been cruising, sailing. But you had to go and mess it all up. Big article for this track. It was released as the third single from the band and reached #1 in many countries, US and the UK. Ranked number 66 in the UK's official list of biggest selling singles of all time. Inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. And a bunch of other accolades as well. says that it was an earlier version was written in 74, 75 with a slower, funkier sound and a basic disco beat. And it was referred to the band as the disco song. It was re-recorded in a second demo in 78 with a little bit more pop to it. We've tried it as a ballad, as reggae, but it never quite worked. And the lyrics weren't about anyone. They're just a plaintive moan about lost love. Chapman asked us to play all the songs we had. At the end, he said, "Have you got anything else?" We sheepishly said, "Well, there is this old one." He liked it, he thought it was fascinating, and started to pull it into focus. And of course, history goes on from there. Let's move on to the next track here, which is going to be I'm Gonna Love You Too. Here we go. Let's jump into this. I love that. Just squeak it out. It just makes me laugh. This one makes me smile. I'm sorry about that part just makes me smile so much. I love it. For some reason, when it first started, when the singing or the vocalizations first started, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this track, to be honest. But it won me over. It won me over. That was wonderful. Is there a specific name for that drum beat that I keep on referring as the 50s or 60s kind of drum beat? That da 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 da. Well, I'm thinking of the song, but da da ka ka doom ka doom ka, like on the snares, the ka ka ka, and the bass is the doom ka doom ka. I don't know. Anyways, I just hear that in a lot of music like that, and that's why I keep on saying, like, I think the band has a lot of that inspiration from that era. Love the drumming on this one. Love Deb's singing. The guitar. It's all played at a very fast pace. I've never seen Back to the Future, but this makes me think of the whole, you may not understand this, but your kids are going to love it kind of thing. Like, it's bringing that style into a slightly more modern era. Modern for this era, at least. Which I think comes across really, really nice. Not a ton of lyrics on this one. You're going to say you miss me. You're going to say you'll kiss me. You're going to say you love me because I'm going to love you too. I don't care what you told me. You're going to say you'll hold me. You're going to say you love me because I'm going to love you too. Listen, you can talk. You can do all this. But ain't until you actually kissing me, holding me, hugging me, then I believe you. After all, another fella took you, but I still can't overlook you. I'm going to do my best to hook you after all is said and done. I don't care what you told me. You're going to say you'll hold me. You're going to say you'll love me. I'm going to love you too. You're going to tell me sweet things. You make my heart sing. I'm going to hear bells ring because I'm going to love you too. Listen, she wants that ring. And lyrics just repeat from there. Let's move on into the final track of the album, which is going to be Just Go Away. Which, don't just go away yet. Give me 3 minutes and 24 seconds at least. Love that guitar screaming on the side. And there you have it. Just Go Away. But don't go away yet. Parallel Lines by Blondie. This is a good song, but I actually feel it's honestly the weakest song on the album. I think it's completely fine. It works as a standalone. But after the journey which we've taken, I feel like this is like the weakest track. It does everything adequately. It sounds good. Like I said, this is not a turn it off track or a bad track or anything like that. If I heard this out of context and I was doing just single songs, I'd probably say, oh, this is good. I'd probably say actually the same thing now I'm thinking about it. I think it's good. I love the guitar. The way that she sings. The drums are nice. But it's all just nice. I don't think anything here in this particular track is exceptional or reaches any of the same heights as many of the previous tracks. This one's, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, don't you know? Don't want to see you anymore? Put up or shut up. You spell, you read, D-O-O-R. Get out of here. You got a big mouth, and I'm happy to see your foot is firmly entrenched where a molar should be. That's a good line. I will say that's probably one of the best lines on the album, though. If you talk much louder, you could get an award from the Federal Communications Board. Wow, she deserves this one.
Clap.
Don't be cruel, be a sweet thing. Thing as a rule. Don't be sad, I left you in the street, you prefab. I had to get away. Don't you know? Don't want to see you here no more. Pack it and move it. You spell and read O-U-T out. But don't be bad, a Mad Hatter's beret. Sometimes you look like you just made an escape. Don't be mad or lose your Medicaid cool. Or, of course, cool rhymes with fool. Wow. She is getting them. Don't know what you did to deserve it, but he got it. Parallel Lines by Blondie. I hope that you guys enjoyed the full album review. My favorite track is very, very easily going to be Fade Away and Radiate. I think that one just brings a completely different dimension to the album. Heart of Glass I would probably put next. I've heard it so many times that I'm hesitant to, but just because I've heard it so many times and I have a little bit of an overexposure to it doesn't necessarily make it bad. It's just, it doesn't stand out as much to me, even though I have to admit that it's a fantastic song. Besides that, I don't know, but I like Fade Away. I think is, well, quite a ways away, my favorite track on the album. But let me know what you guys thought of it. Of course, let me know in the comments down below. If you didn't already, please press the like button, subscribe if you haven't. You can support what I do on Patreon for as little as $2 a month. You don't have to, but you can. It's an option. And otherwise, that is the video. Thank you so much for watching. Come back tomorrow, and I will see you all then. Bye, guys.